So we're here again at the Rangemaster of Utah's classroom to talk to you today about the Isosceles Stance. Now, as Spencer referred to in our previous video, there are a lot of different types of stances that you can use, everywhere from Weaver's isosceles, there's modified versions of those. And once again, what we're going to suggest to you is use what's most comfortable. We're going to give you some suggestions, some standards, but if you need to modify those in order to be more comfortable or in order to shoot more effectively, feel free to do that. Don't let anybody else tell you that's wrong, you can't do it. Because the fact of the matter is, if you're not comfortable, you're not going to shoot as well. So keep in mind, in what we're teaching you today, if you want to use isosceles but you need to modify it a little bit, that's all right. What essentially the isosceles is if you think of an isosceles triangle, right, you've got two even sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our feet and we're going to put them shoulder width apart. Now, once again, we don't want to go too crazy on this. If it's uncomfortable for you, make sure you modify it to what's comfortable. But I'm going to take my feet, I'm going to put them shoulder width apart, and I'm going to put a little bit of bend in my knees. Now, an important thing to remember here, especially in the isosceles, because a lot of new shooters use the isosceles stance, is make sure that you're bending forward a little bit. A lot of new shooters prefer to bend backwards to try and get away from the firearm. In this situation, we need to bend forward. It's going to help you to absorb some of the recoil from that firearm, and it's actually going to make it easier on you to shoot than leaning back. So you're going to bend forward ever so slightly. It's going to center your weight over your feet. And at that point, you're going to take both your arms, you're going to bring them to the middle. Notice once again, I'm making another triangle with my arms. And at that point, I'm going to put a little bend in my arms. I'm going to have a little lean forward, a little bend in my knees. And that's the isosceles stance. To show you that, I'm going to go ahead and turn to the side as if a target was over to the side. Now, once again, I'm going shoulder width apart with my feet. I'm going to bend my knees slightly. Now, when I bring my blue gun up, you'll notice that I have both my arms centered in front of me. And directly in front of me, I'm leaning forward ever so slightly. So when I fire, it helps me absorb that recoil. So once again, you're going to keep your legs shoulder width apart. Have a little bend in your knees, a little bend in your arms, so you don't want to lock them out. Remember that if you have any joint locked, it's going to make it harder to absorb some of that recoil. So just make sure, once again, be comfortable in the stance that you're using. Feel free to modify these as necessary. As always, this is Michael Jones from the Armed Self-Defense Institute reminding you to be safe and have fun. Semper Fi.